Color of money, then you know how exciting billiards can be to watch. Today at High Pockets, we had a chance to meet with Louie Roberts, known as St. Louie Louie. Louie put on quite an exhibition for us. In addition to being excellent at what he does, Louie is a genuinely nice guy. Louie is also the pro at High Pockets and also practicing for a big Pro-Am billiards tournament being held tomorrow at the South Haven Recreational Center, where handicaps are given to the amateurs. Louie is one of those fascinating people that you could watch and listen to all day. Jeff and I appreciate the demonstration. I also appreciate the lesson from Louie. Louie has to be good to teach me anything. Also, thanks to James Strickland for inviting us out to meet St. Louie Louie. Now, for those of you who are like Les Smith and Alex Coleman who don't know a dadgum thing about billiards, this is 8-ball. The 8-ball is trapped in the middle here, and I'm going to try to sink the other 2 balls in that pocket without the 8-ball going in there. If the 8-ball goes in there, then I lose. Jimmy. Oh, eat your heart out, Alex and Les. Johnny Dark, Sports 3 for Memphis Sports Saturday.
Athletic stimulation comes about as a result of hustle, especially in the case of many pool sharks, if you will, who blend their skills of brain and brawn to make a living in one of the toughest hustles of them all on the billiards table. Eyewitness sports reporter John Koski caught up with one looking to travel the road to stardom.
Just like what I'm out going.
Executed to perfection by St. Louie Louie Roberts, a 2-time U.S. Open 9-ball champion and considered one of the most dangerous 9-ball contenders in the world. Roberts is now the house pro at High Pockets on Old Summer. He's played and beaten many of the best, including Steve Miserak, who earned national fame on a beer commercial.
I've defeated him more times than one, and he's defeated me more times than one also. Amongst the pros, just like amongst the golf pros, we take turns beating each other.
Roberts is featured in a newly released movie called The Color of Money, starring Paul Newman and Tom Cruise.
And it was really exciting being around Paul Newman. Of course, he's my idol. And working with Tom Cruise was exciting because he's so young and so energetic and so willing to learn.
Louie says trick shots are fun, but that's not where the money is.
Playing the game and playing it well and winning and collecting the prize money, that's where it's at.
Minnesota Fats taught Roberts many of his tricks. St. Louie Louie isn't a bad teacher himself. Right. John Koski, 13, Eyewitness Sports.
To say the word pool and visions of seedy bars with equally seedy characters engaged in the sport almost immediately pop to mind. But does pool shooting really deserve our contempt, or is it on a sport that image-wise has just been misunderstood? Well, Sports 3's Glenn Carver went in search of the answer.
I made it, boy. I finally made it. Come on, pay up, sucker.
The 1961 film classic, The Hustler, with Paul Newman, practically changed the world of pool overnight. What it showed was both the sport and the dirt of pool hustling. One man who knows a lot about that subject is Louie Roberts, who is known in the pool world as St. Louie Louie. Roberts, who is retired from hustling, was a technical advisor and stand-in shooter for the sequel movie to The Hustler, which is called The Color of Money. Roberts has experienced the road life of hustling and its toughness.
I was in Oklahoma City, and I stayed there for a whole week. Played for 4 straight days and played way below my speed until the right time and until the right bet. There's been stories of people going to towns and staying a whole month. I once beat a bookmaker down in Mobile, Alabama out of a sum. It took me over a month to get him.
For those of us who are rarely inside of pool halls, movies like The Color of Money show us what it's really like. For the most part, hustling is a sport that is demanding and rich in pride, but it can also be very dangerous, as depicted in The Hustler.
Let's cut out the small stuff, huh? $100 freeze out. 10 games, $10 a game. Win and take all. That's 10. You punk, you 2-bit punk. Come on, pay up, $100.
We got no use for pool sharks around here.
I broke my thumb. There have been pool players who have gotten themselves in situations where they've gotten hurt. Of course, in the movie, Paul Newman got his thumbs broken. But one instance that I can remember was in Kansas City, Kansas. I don't care to mention the name of the place. I saw the heat coming. In other words, I had beating the whole place and all the side bettors out of as much as they're going to lose. And they knew I hustled them, you know. And it just so happens, I was very lucky that there was a window in the bathroom. I happened to be playing for $100 a game. I was winning quite a large sum. So what I did was I lost 2 games in a row. I laid my cue stick on the table, and I excused myself and went to the bathroom, and I actually kicked out the bathroom window and made my escape.
To a certain extent, pool hustlers are athletes. Like in any other sport, they must be in shape to compete in marathon matches, and a long career can take its toll. The first thing to go for a pool player is usually his eyesight. It only takes a fraction of an inch to miss a shot, and a lot of money. Without the eyes, shots like this are even more difficult to make. Some of the best-known hustlers have given way to the younger players, but St. Louie Louie has had the chance to be around some of the best, such as Willie Moscone and the ever-popular Minnesota Fats.
I'll never forget the time where we were at a bar, a motorcycle bar. And there's nothing but motorcycle people in this place. And the first thing that happens was a girl lifts up her blouse and says, "Can I have your autograph, Mr. Fats?" And sure enough, he has a little rubber stamp. He comes out with the stamp and stamps it right on top of the upper torso, as I may say.
Some think hustling has given pool a dirty image, and most pros would like to see that change. Hustling has diminished some in the last 10 years with a rise in the number of professional tournaments, and on a local scene, pool hall owners are trying to turn pool into a family sport.
In the 80s, pool has sprouted up billiard rooms such as High Pockets, as you see here. It's dressed with flowers. A guy can bring his girlfriend or his wife in, and even their children in. Gambling is not allowed at all. James Strickland, Mr. and Mrs. Strickland, they run a very tight ship here. This is what I would call a billiard emporium.
And for those of you who would like to try your hand at hustling, well, St. Louie Louie has a few words for you.
Don't be too cocky. Just let it be known that you'd like to play 9-ball or 8-ball for a few dollars a game. And just feel the place out, and let them feel you out. And try not to win 8 or 10 games in a row.
Glenn Carver, Sports 3 Extra.
Out of movie.
It's the new film, The Color of Money, starring Paul Newman, who is recreating his role of Fast Eddie from the classic The Hustler. A Memphis man helped make it possible, and Todd Demers is here to tell us about it.
The movie is The Color of Money, and it stars heartthrobs Paul Newman and current teen idol Tom Cruise. The pair work together hustling money in pool halls in what could almost be described as the Hustler Next Generation. Obviously, all of these incredible shots weren't made by the stars themselves, as the producers of this film enlisted the help of professionals, and that's where this movie takes a local turn. Out in East Memphis is a very classy place to play pool. It's called High Pockets, and the pro there is a very classy man by the name of Louie Roberts. In the professional world, he is known as St. Louie Louie.
Then I won my first national tournament in 1974, the Orlando Open. And then I won many other national tournaments, but I think the highlight of my career was when I defeated Steve Mizurek to win the 1979 U.S. Open.
And then there is his work in the movie.
A lot of background scenes. For instance, one shot where I made 5 balls in one shot, and there's a jump shot that I made in the movie, and just some minor technical advising.
The concept at High Pockets is one designed to change the current image of pool halls. Owner James Strickland says this is a true family place. The rules are strict. No gambling, no swearing, and proper attire is required. Roberts took a few minutes out of his busy schedule to talk with us as he prepares for his next major event.
Mr. Strickland, the owner, is sponsoring me along with Bob Mucci, the cue maker, in the U.S. Open in Norfolk, Virginia. And that starts next month on the 3rd. So James is having me down here practicing 4 to 6 hours a day, which is actually what is required before such a stiff competition.
Tomorrow, in part 2 of my talk with the famous St. Louie Louie, we'll do a little more showing off and tell you more about the fine establishment known as High Pockets. I'm Todd Demers.
And who set up the shots for Paul Newman and Tom Cruise is Memphis' own St. Louie Louie. Today we have part 2 of the story that Todd Demers talked about Monday on our local pro.
Paul Newman and Tom Cruise star in the motion picture The Color of Money, a story about two men making their living hustling in the pool halls. The man behind many of the trick shots and the technical advisor in this movie is none other than Louie Roberts, otherwise known as St. Louie Louie, who now makes his home in Memphis and spends a good deal of time here at High Pockets, the classiest pool hall in the state.
Be happy to be working here in Memphis at High Pockets. They don't have a billiard room like this in St. Louis. The owner, James Strickland, I consider him not only a friend, but like a pioneer of the sport of pocket billiards. He's worked with the billiard room industry for 15 years, and finally his dream has come true with High Pockets. As you can see, this atmosphere is perfect for the family.
Roberts makes it look easy when it comes to playing pool.
Shot that Minnesota Fast made famous on the Johnny Carson show. He calls it the railroad shot. The Chattanooga Choo-Choo, ladies and gentlemen. I hope I make it. You think so? Here we go.
He even makes it look easy when it comes to novices such as myself. And if you're looking to improve your game like I need to do, High Pockets just might be the place to stop by.
I'm more than happy to teach anyone if they have any problem with their game. I give private lessons. I also give group lessons. And anyone that is playing at High Pockets at any given time, if I happen to be in the room, they should feel free to just come up and ask me about a problem that they may be having.
We would also like to wish St. Louie Louie the best of luck in the upcoming U.S. Open in Virginia, an event he claimed back in 1979.
This is the shot that was in The Color of Money. You have to see it. You have to be looking for it. I made this shot for The Color of Money. I made it on the first try, too, by the way. 6 balls in 1 shot. Oh, my Lord. Even when you're just showing off.
I'm Todd Demers.
Todd's going to make his money.
Hi, I'm Jimmy Mattia. Right now I'm just practicing a little pool with a good friend of mine, the great Danny Medina. We're getting ready to head to Aspen, Colorado, where we're going to meet with 15 more of the greatest men and women players in the game today. And while we're there, we're going to put together a series of instructional pieces which is really going to improve your game. Let's face it, in this sport, the more inside secrets you know, the more fun you're going to have. And speaking of fun, hey, amigo, you haven't missed a ball in an hour. Are you ever going to let me shoot again?
Mattia, I don't plan on letting you shoot the rest of the week.
Now, he's a real fun guy to play with.
Well, let's talk about some draw. And here's a real quick draw. I call him Elvis, but everybody else calls him St. Louie Louie.
I play 9-ball. And in 9-ball, during the course of playing the game professionally, there's a certain stroke that is very important. It's called the draw stroke. At this time, what we're going to do is we're going to talk a little bit about the power draw. The power draw is simple, self-explanatory. You're going to put maximum English on the cue ball. It's just like a golfer or a tennis player when he follows all the way through or when they tee off. What we're going to do with the power draw is we're going to remember, have confidence with your tip, plenty of chalk always, and the snap of the wrist. You're going to really let go. In this little instance here, we've got the 8-ball straight in the corner with no angle. We need shape on the 9-ball. Okay, what I'm going to do is show you the power draw. It's going to be a full snap of the wrist, low right-hand spin to get position on that 9-ball. Now, what I'd like to explain about the power draw is the simple fact that most draw shots are, it's not always so imperative that we aim so low on the cue ball. But when you're shooting the power draw, you must practice constantly to build confidence in aiming as low as possible on this round object. And lots of chalk because of the friction. We're going to try and turn this ball to its maximum amount. Okay, this is simple. Just set up balls constantly like this. Just keep practicing over and over. Watch the wrist. Snap that wrist. Aim very low. And snap the wrist. There is going to be many, many times in your challenge at this game where learning and being able to execute the draw is going to be one of your biggest assets on improvement. So many times you're going to be faced with this kind of situation. Look here. The cue ball and the 5 are not really at a very good angle. And the ball is down here. I've got some angle. Let's say I've got hardly no angle. Here's the power draw one more time. Maximum, low right, full confidence, keep the head down, and make sure that you snap the wrist. So remember, practice the power draw. It's going to become a very big asset in your arsenal to play this game well. Snap the wrist. Make sure you aim low. Have confidence in your tip.
Now let's listen to one of the power strokers of the game, Danny Medina, and how he draws his ball.
I'm going to show a few draw shots here. Like here, I got the 1-3 here. I just broke the ball. The 1-3's laying there. But the 5 and 9's dead over here. So what I could do is I could just hit the 1 and draw the cue ball back to make the 9. It's better than running the table, isn't it? Okay, here again, I'm going to draw this ball, cue ball, right back to make the 9 ball instead of running the table, which is really easy to do. Okay, say you're playing 9 ball and you just broke the balls and they ended up like this. The 4 and 5 are tied up over there and you just can't break them out. But the 9 is laying in front of the hole here. You can draw your cue ball right off of this 2 ball and make the 9 instead of trying to go for the break. I'm going to try to do it.